The courtroom was filled to capacity, and the charged hush among the spectators was palpable. Every eye was fixed on the proceedings, the tension amplified by the low hum of the overhead lights and the gleam of polished wooden benches. At the front, Judge Richard Holloway sat elevated, tapping his fingers in barely concealed impatience. His hair was silver, and a lifetime of stern disapproval etched deep lines into his face. To him, this case felt like just another day's work, another name, another defendant, another pointless disruption of his schedule. Little did he know how drastically this day would differ. Seated at the defense table was Danielle Carter, poised and composed. Her navy blue suit was immaculate, her black hair pulled back neatly. She exuded authority, yet Judge Holloway paid her only cursory attention. To him, she was simply another black woman who had landed on the wrong side of the law. Glancing at the case file, he smirked to himself, convinced he could already predict the outcome. Well, he drawled, his voice carrying easily in the silent room. Another person who believes they're above the law. A few jurors fidgeted, and the young prosecutor swallowed nervously. Danielle, however, remained unruffled. Judge Holloway leaned forward, his amusement barely veiled. Let me guess. You're going to say you were wrongfully arrested. That this is all just a big misunderstanding. His condescending chuckle rippled through the courtroom. Danielle allowed the faintest smile to emerge. It was not the nervous grin of someone pleading for leniency. It was the self-assured expression of someone holding a crucial piece of information close to the vest. The prosecutor cleared his throat. Your Honor, if I may, Miss Carter. But the judge couldn't resist interrupting. Don't bother. Let's not waste the court's time. Go ahead and explain what makes you so special. Finally, Danielle spoke, her voice controlled and unwavering. With all due respect, Your Honor, I'd rather stick to facts than indulge in personal speculation. For the briefest moment, Judge Holloway's smirk flickered. He wasn't used to defendants meeting his gaze so calmly. Most trembled or pleaded for mercy. This woman did neither. So, he challenged, let's hear these facts. Danielle took a measured breath, then reached inside her blazer. The bailiff snapped to attention, and Judge Holloway's lips twisted, eager to make some remark about reckless behavior. But any words died on his tongue the moment Danielle removed a small black leather case and flipped it open. Inside lay a gleaming gold badge engraved with the unmistakable letters of a federal agency. Instantly, the courtroom's energy shifted. The prosecutor dropped his pen, and several jurors craned forward to see. My name, Danielle announced, is Special Agent Danielle Carter of the United States Secret Service. Judge Holloway's confidence evaporated. His face went chalk white. The prosecuting attorney's eyes darted between documents, as though to confirm he hadn't missed something crucial. Calmly, Danielle placed the badge on the table in front of her. Before we proceed, it's important to note that my arrest was unjustified, and, in fact, a breach of federal law. She reached into her bag once again, producing a sealed folder. This is an official complaint from the Department of Justice, she stated, passing the document to the bailiff. It details the numerous violations committed by the officers who detained me, including the falsified report that ended up in this courtroom. Judge Holloway's hands gripped the edge of his bench so tightly his knuckles turned pale. Danielle pressed on. The arresting officers never bothered to check my credentials. They assumed, based on the color of my skin, that I must have been doing something wrong. The young prosecutor looked mortified, rifling through his files in a futile attempt to understand how this went so far off track. And now, Danielle continued, her voice as steady as ever, I find myself here, facing a judge who ridiculed me before I was able to present even a shred of evidence. A weighty silence descended. Judge Holloway appeared to have aged years in mere minutes. Gone was his cocky demeanor. In its place, a fearful realization of what this would mean for his career. Danielle adjusted her blazer and looked him square in the eye. "This isn't just about me," she said. "It's about a system that lets those in power misuse their authority without being challenged. But today, Judge Holloway, you chose the wrong person to belittle." She leaned in, voice resonant. "I promised you, this won't end here." The prosecutor sprang to his feet. "Your Honor, given this new evidence, the prosecution moves to drop all charges against Miss Carter." Visibly shaken, Judge Holloway managed to force out, "Case dismissed." He brought his gavel down, but for the first time in his tenure, the finality it signified did nothing to bolster his authority. The hush in the courtroom now felt damning rather than deferential. Danielle gathered her belongings, heading for the exit. Pausing at the door, she turned just enough to speak clearly for all to hear. "Next time," she said, her words carefully measured, "think twice before you laugh." Then she was gone, leaving Judge Holloway slumped in his seat, pale and humiliated, fully aware that after this day, the story would spread, and his career would never be the same.